All right, good morning. We got the double T's going flying on the north shore of Oahu in a powered Hangglider of all things. And looks like the girls are ready to go. One of the things that we have as a huge advantage over other aircraft is our ability to not have blind spots, to be able to see really clearly. Yeah. We can also raise the wing up to look for traffic. Later in the afternoon, this becomes really helpful when you can raise the wing up and see a glider on crosswind coming into land. So the uniqueness of moving the wing independently of the fuselage is very useful for safety.
Coming in Paradise 1 and 2, taking the active runway.
So not that we need more runway, but I'm going to just go down to the left a little bit, because when an airplane lifts off, the moment it lifts off, it starts churning up the air. So if we start right behind them, we'll be kind of taking off in all of their turbulence. It's not deadly, but I want you to feel what it's like with as little turbulence as possible. So we'll come down here. And then when they were wherever they are at 100 feet, we'll probably be at 200 feet. We'll always be above their turbulence that's going down from them because we started further back. Two best inventions that I've ever come across in my life, except for things like the cure to polio and all that, is the wheel and the airfoil. It's amazing that if you just hit enough air at the front of a wing, it will lift you off the ground because the air going over the top has further to travel than the air going under the flat bottom. It lifts you right off the ground. So we're going to rely on the wheel and the airfoil to lift us off the ground. You can start to see the mountains down at the bottom out there. Even though it looks really cloudy right now, the sun's going to probably start winning out a little bit and breaking up some of these clouds. So as I start to accelerate, all I'm really trying to do is keep the wings level. That's a little higher there, so I'll bring it down a little bit. All right, wings are level. I'm pulling our weight forward a little bit, keep us on the ground. I'm going to push our weight towards the tail, and the nose is going to lift up. There we go. That's all there is to a nice, easy, safe takeoff. If you want to do a landing, just let up on the throttle. It'll be a little bumpy down here because the wind is coming from the mountain over there and hit these trees. So you'll feel how much work it is to keep the kite level. That was a good drop. Still pull off a good landing here. There we go. It's all right behind those trees is all that's going on. Yeah, I'll move that up a little bit. Okay. It's usually not that much work, but it's right behind the air draining off the mountain right now. And to lift off, just put our weight a little bit towards the tail. There we go. How do you like the view out of this thing?
It's beautiful.
Cool. Move your microphone in just a little bit, maybe a little higher. And your microphone, see if you can knock off a little bit of wind noise there. That's a little better. So even when we hit bumps, the cockpit's not going to move very much. It's on a pendulum type thing. And in a regular aircraft, when the wing would move 30 degrees, the cockpit has to move 30 degrees. But gravity's stronger than our wings, so the cockpit's not going to follow it much. But right now, you can see all the way up to the northern tip of the island. Now, this is the drop zone, and you guys are living in Crozier, so you're just right up there.
So this is where we saw them dropping yesterday.
Yep, right? This is the two companies' landing area right there. Kind of fun to just go over, drive in on this gate right here and go over and watch them. You can just go over to the Pacific Skydiving, which is the better company. Just kind of hang out. You can watch the beginners going up for their first jump, all nervous, get them in the harness and walk into the aircraft. 20 minutes later, you see them landing after the jump. Kind of cool to just check it out. It's just free entertainment.
Yeah, we were on the beach yesterday watching them drop. A lot of them seem really experienced because they're doing a lot of the...
Yeah, that's the camera people. They have to get down to film the landing, so they spiral down usually. You'll see these four identical buildings right here on the water.
Yeah.
We live in the one on the right-hand side right there. It's just a rental. But we used to live way up at Sunset Beach past YMA up there. But it got really too much of a drive driving back home, so we sold our house and now we moved over here. This is a polo field, and then there's a horse ranch. And there's pretty pretty rare. Look how this property, there's actually no houses or hotels or anything. It's all just kind of natural. That's pretty darn rare. Crozier's just up here on the left.
Yeah, we walked down here yesterday because I remember walking over this fallen tree now.
Yeah, that's right where the river has come in there for decades, and it keeps the coral from growing. So they probably walked right by the nude beach then, because that's right there.
Yeah, there was nobody out yesterday when we were walking.
Yeah, on a weekend that gets pretty crowded over there. So I'm using the foot throttle to determine if we're going up or down or level. Kind of similar to what you do in a car to go faster or slower at the same speed as everybody else. Let's take a look at the camera. The lighting got good. Let's get a nice photo. You're always welcome to fly one-handed. I'm going to do what, there you go. Yeah, do that again. Nice. Girls are right there, and I'm going to do what Denise is going to do now that it's broken up a little bit, is the mountain range in front of us really churns up the air on this side. And if we find a way to get over to the other side, it'll be real smooth. But as long as we get up above the clouds, all these bumps will go away as well, because we're downwind of a volcano. The wind comes out of the east really smooth over the water. It's smooth as it goes up. It condenses into our clouds and it makes the rain. That's a rain manufacturing plant. And then it tumbles over the mountain. And that's what we're in right now. So that's why the girls are going up a little higher. So I'm going to step on the gas. And we'll climb. I guess she's flying around Crozier where you guys are right here. Where do you think you are in here?
We're right behind the gates. I think we're right back over here. Yeah, right back over here.
Okay, cool. We'll go take a look at it right there just as we're climbing. How do you like the view out of this thing?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Very nice. So there's a bunch of rentals. Are you right on the water or back?
Yeah, right on the water.
Okay, so probably right in here. I'll do a little teardrop to the left so you get a better view.
Yeah, it's right down here on the... There's a gate on the road right there where the first out.
Right where that paved road
right there, yeah.
All right, well, we'll get you a nice photo of you right over your place. Let's take a look at the camera on the left wing. We'll get a nice photo right over your property. One more. Nice, that's a real wide angle lens. So right down in here is where you live, huh?
Yeah.
Cool. Now look at the girls right there. We're right over their house at 1.2 following it. What beautiful lighting, huh?
Yes.
I think that's a mango orchard, and then most of this property out here. Sounds good. Most of this property over here is actually owned by Pioneer Seed, and they're very similar to Monsanto. What they do actually is a lot of genetically modified testing. So they're kind of a controversial company out here. And then way over there is Monsanto. So unfortunately, as pretty as the North Shore is, the organic farmers over here wish that they weren't around.
When did they build the wind farms out here?
A couple of years ago, and unfortunately, they're going to be there for 20 years.
Yeah.
I'm very much for clean energy, but that did drop our electric bill 1/10 of a penny. And it's actually right next to Waimea Valley.
Yeah.
So close are four of them that you can see them and hear them when you're in the valley, which is unfortunate. And they insist that that whole project wasn't viable unless they put them right along the ridge. And the real kind of sad thing is that land was given to them. It's a Kamehameha Trust, and it's supposed to be used only for agriculture or education. And to me, a windmill is energy.
Yeah.
So their rationale is, oh, we're going to take the money that we're going to make from the windmills and we're going to improve the water system over there. So my rationale is you can put anything you want over there. You can put oil wells in, right? You can do anything you want. You know, just because it's got a kind of a clean energy ring to it doesn't mean it's appropriate for agriculture or education. So what happens is Kamehameha schools, very, very wealthy, and they get $3,000 a month for every windmill. That's $90,000 a month times 20 years.
Yeah, we were here 4 years ago, and I think they were putting the first one up, and it just looks so ugly.
Yeah, it's horrible. So look how nice it is here at Mount Kaala.
Beautiful.
We get a photo with that in the background. Nice. So there's your wife.
Yeah.
I bet you she's having a little exciting time, huh?
She was really nervous. I thought she was going to enjoy it, though.
Oh, she'll love it. And it won't get any bumpier than the first part of the flight because we'll be able to go above the bumps or get on the other side of the mountain range. You can see Diamond Head Crater right now, too.
Oh, yeah.
That's nice. On a little smartphone, you can pull up, it'll come up, it'll show the whole island on here. There's Oahu.
Yeah.
Tells us we're 4.2 nautical miles southeast of Oahu, and all I have is a little software app that you would know all about.
Yeah.
But when the President of the United States is here, we can't go more than 5 miles away from Dillingham. And so this is really essential to me that I can look at this, it'll tell me exactly how far I am away.
So where does he stay when he's here?
Well, he stays over in Kailua, but in reality, wherever a president has always been for the history of our presidents, they draw like a 30-mile ring, and they say no flying unless it's like commercial airliners and it's fully vetted kind of thing. They don't let any flight instruction or tours or rides or aerial photography or anything happen. But this little airport over here is so busy, as you can see with the skydiving and the gliders and powered hang gliders and biplane rides, and it's about as far away from Kailua as you can be. They made an exception, and they did a test the first year. They gave us a 5-mile area, and the only person that's really blown it so far is the son of the owner of the horrible skydiving company. Took off during the presidential TFR and lost his license.
Yeah.
He's also ran out of gas too. And he was in some kind of an academy to go to the Air Force Academy, and he got kicked out of that because he was quoted on the internet as saying they didn't appreciate my individualism.
Yeah. Well, you give that up when you go to a school like that, so.
No, he's a jerk.
Yeah.
You know, his dad is a jerk, and that's why they have a horrible parachute center. They don't get it that they're the problem.
Yeah.
Now, see how the air's gotten a little smoother?
Yeah.
The bar on a hang glider will get really quiet when you have nice smooth air. It'd be like water skiing on a glassy lake or snowboarding or skiing and just powder. It gets really, really quiet. So roll is what we do most of the time with this. As we're cruising around, like to stay out of that cloud, I'm going to push our weight away from the right and pull it over to the left, and you'll see the horizon kind of level out with the wing right there.
Yeah.
So we use this side to side a lot, and that's about it. That's one of the reasons why this aircraft is so simple. We don't even bother to pitch the nose up or pitch the nose down much, because we can go up easiest with just being lazy and use the foot throttle.
Yeah.
We can go down by letting up on the foot throttle and let gravity do all the work.
Dillingham traffic, Mobile 1 crossing runway 8.
Look at all the pineapple fields. You got the canyons and plateaus and canyons and plateaus and canyons and plateaus. You got Pearl Harbor over to your right.
Yeah, I've been on this road hundreds of times. It's quite a different view from up in the air.
It sure is.
Dillingham traffic, Mobile 1 clear.
Dillingham traffic, Paradise 2, flight of 2 light sport aircraft. We are clear to the east. So the tower's not even open, but we switched away from their frequency.
Yeah.
If I get a really nice photo at sunrise of you, but go ahead and get on the controls one more time here. I'm going to get the sunlight with the dormant volcano in the background and all these beautiful fields below it. Get over here where I got some sunlight. It's not bad, but I'm waiting for a little bit more sun. Alrighty, there we go. Yeah, now you can fly one-handed with your left hand on. There you go, maybe even a shaka. There you go, cool. So all we got to do to steer this thing is to do a roll. And with a foot throttle, I can either make us go up or stay level or go down. Just so you get your bearings, all those rectangles down there, that's all pineapple.
Okay.
And then it's just all farmland all the way up to Waimea. When you get near the mountains, of course, you got all the vegetation, because that mountain range out there is our primary rain manufacturing plant. It's pushing that moist air up, chilling it, turning it into clouds and making rain. Most locals don't even realize that if we didn't have wind and mountains, this would be a desert out here. 90% of our rain is made by the wind in the mountains. There's the girls right up there. You can see Haleiwa Harbor in the corner over there.
Yeah.
The bar's getting a lot less work to fly than it was when we were down low. It's amazing the turbulence from the Oahu Mountains is going all the way down to Dillingham. Most places, you know, you're not dealing with high winds and volcanoes, so this aircraft is ideal for, you know, they're real popular in Florida. They got a big enough engine that you could fly them in Colorado. Of course, it's cold there part of the year, but you can just dress warmer. Just like serious motorcycle riders have a plug they can plug in and heat up their suit, do the same thing in here.
Do you know of anyone that flies these in Colorado?
I know that there is, but I don't know them in particular. But the other thing is if you ever wanted to do it just for fun, or if you wanted to get into it, just feel free to contact us. Because it's a small community, and we can find out what kind of aircraft, we can find out, you know, their reputation in the sport. A pretty crazy little bird your wife is in.
Yeah.
You think about these things, you look at them and they look kind of fragile, but they're rated to the same strength as our Cessna 150, which is pretty significant. It's not like an aerobatic aircraft, but it can handle 6 Gs positive and 3 negative with 440 pounds in the aircraft, and it won't break. Look at Pearl Harbor over your shoulder. Isn't that nice? Now, a good way to stop a right turn is just put your right hand on the inside and just push. Look at all these canyons down below you that most people never ever get to see.
I never do know.
That's the longest canyon on Oahu right there. It's not as nice as like Waimea on Kauai, but it's still a nice canyon. You can see many canyons turn into one right there. That big hole in the clouds is looking pretty tempting. We might end up going right through there and going on the other side. We never fly through the clouds. We just fly above them and below them, around them. Have a tail, so there's nothing to do back there. There's no rudder, there's no elevator, there's no moving parts in the wing. We literally shift our weight to the right to go right, put our weight in the center to go straight, put it on the left. So that's why even 8-year-olds have flown it on their first time. And we don't bother pulling our weight forward or backwards much, because the easy way to go down is just let up on the throttle. The easy way to go up is just step on the throttle, like that.
So did you say she flew this inner island before?
Oh, we've flown these inner islands, sure. This is safer than our Cessna, in my opinion. It's just an opinion, but we have less moving parts. We're equally strong. In my opinion, we have a far better engine. Her engine on her Cessna, it's a 1974 Cessna. It's been rebuilt a few times. It's a decent engine. It's an aircraft engine. It's never let us down, but with all the moving parts, and it's not stronger and a really old engine, no rocket-deployed parachute system. We even have a parachute system. So we generally go inner island when the winds are light, because we're a slow aircraft. And either coming or going, we don't want to have to fight a wind. So on a light wind day, if we want to go to another island and we want to have a really nice view when we get there, like if the volcano was going off, you'd get a better view out of this thing than the Cessna. But we'd try to do it during a light wind time, and 75 miles an hour to get to the other island. We've flown all the way to Maui before.
How long does it take to get to Maui from here?
Well, we stopped in Molokai, so we weren't in any hurry, but I think it took 4 hours total, counting any downtime. So they just got us in this little right turn. You can see the cattle ranch over there is where the C-17 that they fly out of Hickam, they use that for parachute drops. It's a farmer's land that they lease. That's where I got to jump on out of the C-17 for Hawaii 5-0. And that was cheaper to do the free fall shots of the guys, not the exit shot, but the free fall shots. I used Pacific Skydiving's airplane. It's one of the reasons why I know that Skydive Hawaii has no insurance, is some productions have said, oh yeah, we've arranged the planes and the pilots and we need you. And I go, well, I won't skydive there for one, and you haven't arranged the plane check because you haven't found out they don't have insurance, and you won't do a production there without insurance. And they go, really? And I go, yeah, really. They go, okay, where are we going to do it? So then I get them over to Pacific. Again, to stop the right turn, we're going to shift our weight over to the left. I'm just going to push. What a beautiful way to fly. Now, it's much harder in the back seat, and it's much colder. So your arms are way out in front of you, so just fly intermittently because it takes a lot more strength. And there's not a lot more that I can teach you about roll anyway. And when it's choppy like this, if you want to just chill out for a few, I'll still teach you things about light sport aircraft as well. But it's kind of neat to sit side by side and see that the only thing I'm doing with the foot throttle is as mindless as what you do in a car. You don't burn any brain cells going the exact same speed as everybody else. Well, I kind of compare that to if I don't want to go up and I don't want to go down, only one place to put my foot on the throttle, where the propeller is propelling us at the right amount, so the wing is creating just the right amount of lift so we're not going up or down. And it's as mindless and easy as when you're going the same speed as other cars. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now. We do have a vertical speed indicator here that you can look at. I don't use it hardly at all. But as a beginner, you might use it a little bit to know what's going on. Like right now, I got us just going up about 300 feet a minute. It says 210 right now. So just so you get your bearings as well, we're right near the Turtle Beach, which is where the road is right next to the beach. Yeah. It's one of the only places I would recommend snorkeling in the wintertime because the waves lose their energy outside. There's lots of turtles there. They put up a barricade maybe by the last time you were here where you can't park right across from the Turtle Beach. You got to park either before it or after.
Yeah. This is Waimea Bay right
That's Waimea Bay, yeah. It's kind of why I wanted to go over this way so you can kind of feel what's like. Now we have enough time. There's the girls right there. We have enough time that we're probably going to drop in on the windward coast and fly around Kahuku. And I want you to see it's not real bumpy here, but see how the wing bounces around?
Yeah.
It's all because of the mechanical turbulence caused by those mountains right there. When we get on the other side, we should be able to drop right on down, warm right on up, and it should be really, really smooth. I'm going to check in with the girls. Let's find out how Sherry's doing, but they're right there. Paradise One, you up?
Yeah, look.
Company.
Funny.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Hey, I see you.
I see you too. So, how's Sherry doing in these pretty good conditions, but bumps?
Totally comfortable.
Cool. Well, it looks like a really big opening going over towards Kahuku, so I'm going to try to head down and drop along the beaches of Kahuku so we can do some warm, low flying before we come back.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, well, we just wanted to check in. Tom's been doing a lot of flying and doing great in this, and we got a view of Waimea.
Alrighty, we got a view of you.
Awesome. Okay, switching back to Dillingham. Or Island.
Island.
So have you guys gone up this valley before?
A long time ago. We're going to do that while we're here this week, though.
Okay, cool. Because a long time ago, they used to have a lot of activities, and they charged a lot to get into the valley. And now they don't have any activities. They're just trying to keep it a botanical garden.
Yeah.
And it's been preserved forever now. So they charge a little fee, $15. But you can walk right up the valley, and you'll get right to the 85-foot waterfall. And if you wait until it hasn't rained for a day or two, when you get there, you can swim in the lagoon. If it's rained and it's all muddy, it's not good to swim in it. They'll usually tell you not to. Look at this view right here.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the features I really like about this aircraft is that we're faster than a paraglider and slower than most aircraft, so you can really enjoy the journey. And you can get in areas where an airplane would just zip right through it, or a big circle in the clouds where you can turn easily and safely, and another airplane couldn't do it. Hey, it's real bird-like too. When you're up here in the front and you get a few hours in this thing, particularly in smooth air, when we get over to the other side, I'm going to put you back on the control, and you'll see how nice it is when you're not downwind of a volcano in
Northwest
Hawaii.
traffic, Paradise 1 and 2, departing Waimea for Kahuku, 3,500 shoreline.
So once you get connected through your main brain and your body like you do with the snowboarding activity or skiing, like I said, this wing will feel so intuitive where you don't think about it, you just move it. It's really, really an awesome feeling. You can see Sunset Point down there. These are perfect clouds. It's scattered like this so that we can see. This is the village of Pupakea. So it's just big lots. Look how nice those lots are.
They're huge.
The lots up here cost almost or as much as an oceanfront lot, but instead of getting just a few hundred feet by a few hundred feet, here you get like 5 acres. And the air is already starting to smooth out. The mountain goes lower and lower and lower here. So the bumps are going to be lower and lower and lower. And so that's kind of what's happening. The bars are already starting to get really, really quiet. And there's something else I haven't told you about this thing. There's so much weight hanging underneath the kite that it actually can't flip over on its own. It's the most stable aircraft in the world. In a regular aircraft, when the wing moves, the cockpit moves. We talked about that. This one, the cockpit doesn't want to move. So there's no kind of weather I would fly in that it could get flipped over. If you would go fly in this little thing or a Piper Cub in hurricane winds, well, anything could happen. But any weather that you should be flying in, this thing is too stable with all the weight on a pendulum to do anything but stay upright. So it doesn't matter if your hands are on the bar, and it's not going to stall either. Right now, we're about 25 miles an hour above stall speed. There's the girls right there. Let's get a photo right here. This will be really pretty. Nice. From the front seat, I want to show you how much easier it is to turn this thing with one finger. I can kind of nudge the wing into a turn. The wing is so bird-like, it'll change its shape and it'll try to stay in the turn. Although this wing, I think, has a little bit of a right turn in it. You can adjust the sail. Let's see how it's still staying in the left turn. You want to go to the right. Really nice. And you also, from the front seat, can push and pull like this really easily. So that's Sunset Beach right there. You can see the break in the trees and everything where you can pull up in your car. That's a decent place to watch surfing. There's a little sandy area there if the surf's not too rough. But that's where we used to live. We have a house that was just 5 houses back from the point. And when we bought it about 11 years ago, it was only $440,000.
Wow.
We put a lot of money into it and fixed it up, and it was in absolutely mid condition when we sold it, but we got $880 for it.
How many square feet?
I think it was 1,200 upstairs, and the downstairs when we bought it was just 4 framed unfinished walls and a concrete slab that you would use for storage.
Oahu traffic, motor glider 495, Victor Papa, 4,000 feet, climbing to 5,000 feet, 2 miles off the Haleiwa Boat Harbor. We'll be maneuvering and power off, gliding slowly toward Kahina Point. Oahu traffic.
So that guy's over by Dillingham. Usually there's nobody up early. There's 3 aircraft in the whole North Shore right now. That's it. Nobody gets up early, which is the best time of day to fly. North Shore Oahu traffic, Paradise 2, light sport aircraft, flight at 2. We're just Mauka, Sunset Point, 3.4, descending into Kahuku. Now try this flying where it's really smooth now. And again, it may have a slight right turn in the sail. If an aircraft like this wants to go one direction, you just pull a little bit of weight to level it out, and it'll go straight. So that's just making up for the fact that my wing's been flying really, really good for like, I don't know, I think I've got like 800 hours on it, but now it's got just a little right turn in it. But you can tighten and loosen battens and get the sail trimmed out. And we've been just trying to fine tune it. It's real subtle, but just a little bit of pressure towards the left or away from the right, which does the same thing, keeps us flying level. Look how nice that thing flies.
Now, did you say once you start a turn, it wants to stay in the turn?
Yeah, so since the wing is out of trim, see how it wants to go to the right?
Yeah.
But take your right hand and just push like this until the bar is level. Normally you don't have to do this when the wing is perfectly trimmed. You'll point it straight, it'll go straight, and at whatever angle you put it on a turn, it'll stay on the turn. But my wing has a slow right turn in it. Give me a smile right here. Nice. Now, keep your hands on the bar, but I'm going to show you pitch. If you're in a real hurry to climb, you can push your weight towards the tail, but you also have to step on the throttle.
Okay.
If you just raise the nose, you'll go forward and up and then back down. But this is pitch. Now, pitch is annoying in our aircraft compared to other aircraft because you're moving a 30-foot kite. And the bar always wants to be in neutral. So we've rolled level right now, but I want you to hold the bar there and you'll feel the back pressure once you come back.
Yeah.
So this isn't something you would do for hours at a time, all right? But for a quick climb or quick descent, we use pitch.
Yeah.
Usually we leave it alone, but I wanted to get above this cloud right here, and I wanted you to also see pitch. Now we're just doing slight roll to the right, but that would level us back out right there. Now, so go back to neutral because we're above the cloud, and we're in the smooth air. Look how smooth that is. The only thing we really have to contend with is my wing wants to do a slow right turn, but we're just going to drop down out here. And even though the wind is as strong over here as over here, the wind is smooth over the ocean, which is the flattest surface on the planet, so the air traveling over the water tends to be laminar and smooth, real pleasant to fly in. Just take your right hand and push the bar away from you a little bit, just to stay out of that cloud. So you're accomplishing roll, and I've let up on the foot throttle a little bit. Perfect. We're going to find a nice clear way to just meander our way down. Couldn't be more perfect. Just kind of scattered around here. What we'll probably do from all the solidness here, see right over there? We'll probably either come down right here or right over there. Let's do this. Stay on the controls. What I'm going to do is add a little power. Just going to go on the other side of this little cloud. Look how windy it is. Just feel the white caps.
Yeah.
So we're in a real windy period, and it's getting more windy the next couple of days. And the thing I don't like about where we live in Crozier is it's going to be onshore wind right there where you are, really, really strong.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be trade winds out of the northeast. So you might consider going over to the west coast, go over to Koalina, go over to Yokohama Bay. You'll be completely protected from the wind.
Yeah, we noticed it around 4 o'clock last night. The winds really picked up.
Yeah, and sometimes, but rarely, they'll die down just before sunset, but that's the exception, not the rule. Now, if you wanted to descend quickly, I want to show you pitch down. You can pull the bar towards you. That moves your weight forward. Pitch is the access from wingtip to wingtip. So we pitch the nose down. That makes us go faster, but that's how it makes it easy to descend into this hole. You can also, while you're doing pitch, either up or down, you can roll. So that's a descending right turn. Give me a smile at the camera on the left. There you go. So now, we're doing just about everything that you can do control-wise. We're using pitch and roll, and we don't have a vertical tail in the rudder, so we can't do the flat axis that airplanes do that's called yaw. You might have heard that. We don't have yaw. We have more what a bird has. You know, birds can raise and lower their angle of attack, and they can roll. They have use of their tail for a little bit of control, but they don't do a flat turn like an airplane, yaw. Now this altitude that we're giving up, we'll probably have to get back, because when we go around the corner, it'll be a little bumpy if we stay down low. Let's get a photo with the Turtle Bay in the background. Big smile right there. Now when we head back, we'll have a tailwind. We've been out about 30 minutes, so we got a little bit of time we can play around down here. And then what we'll do is we'll probably go up and either above the clouds or right below. But to get down to the beach here, we're going to use pitch. Now, if you guys ever come to Turtle Bay, they got a nice restaurant right there on the beach there. It's called Ola's. They're required to let you park there, just like all the hotels. The beach is open to the public. You walk all the way up to that place. That's called Queen's Bath, that little pool of water. And unless the surf is hitting it really bad, it's really pleasant to just sit there. But you got to walk all the way up. Paradise 1, what's your 20?
We're like right over Tohoku Point at 2.7.
Okay, we're kind of right at Kahuku Point at 1.3. We're going to do a little short flying to the bird refuge and then turn around.
Okay, sounds good. Us too.
Look at all the salt building up here. Our lenses will probably fog up for a little while too. The video and the stills, because it's super cold up there. Now it's super warm, just like your shower bathroom mirror does. Feel how warm it is?
It's beautiful.
So this rundown building here, this is Marconi Road, and it's the Marconi building, and evidently the Italian Marconi had something to do with inventing the radio or something like that.
Yep.
You probably know better than I do. And from what I understand, before there was all this high-tech stuff, we used to talk island to island with radios, and this was where it came in. So now we're not using pitch, we're just using roll. Even though the wind is strong, feel how pretty quiet the bar is? This is more like soaring like a seagull or a hang glider would be, because the wind is so strong out here. It's complementing our engine enough that I've let up on the power setting on the engine. And we're below 4,000 RPM, and we're pretty much maintaining our altitude out here. Now, all these beaches are very empty, but the access to them isn't very easy. I mean, you can walk up from Turtle Bay. I think Marconi Road you can come into right about here, but it's kind of private property. I think you have to park on the other side of the gate. I don't know how you get out here. Like they're out digging up sand right there. feet. Now, would you agree this is an uncongested area?
Yes.
All right, so our particular aircraft has no minimum altitude that we have to remain from people or property in an uncongested area. We got a photo right here. Nice. Now that guy's like cutting the grass or something, and the birds are going in there to eat the worms and stuff when he knocks all that stuff up. Looks like they're making a trail or something. So you can see the old Kahuku runway over there. Much longer. This was a big military airport right here. Feels nice to just soar in the wind, doesn't it? Now, if there was like a 200-foot sand dune here, you could fly in a regular hang glider or a paraglider. You could stay up here just on the orographic lift. That's helping us a little bit. It doesn't really have much of a mountain here to push the wind up, so it's more just the wind. Real pretty lighting. Let me get another photo. Nice. Now there's some albatross birds that are nesting over here, so they put up a fence. It's the first time I've ever seen them nesting in these fields. But this is a Campbell Bird Refuge over here. It's not restricted, but they request that you don't fly around it. But you're going to see a bunch of birds. Those are albatross right there. They're on the endangered species list, and they're nesting on their eggs right there.
Is the fence to keep people or other animals out?
Both. There's wild pigs and dogs and rats. They'll go for the eggs. So they've closed the refuge to visitors right now because of those birds nesting. It's really cool to see them up here. This is the first year I've ever seen them. Cayena Point is a bird refuge that they've really made some really nice progress with. People used to go out there in their ATVs and four-wheel drives, and they're really screwed with the birds. Looks like they're putting up fencing right there. So they put up a double gated fence system out there at Cayena Point. And they put up a rock wall. You can drive all the way out to the rock wall, but then you got to walk out to the point. Since you're staying on Crozier, you might want to go out there, but you want to bring a lot of water. It's nice to do it early in the morning. And you can walk from where the end of the road is. If it's not too muddy, the gate will be open usually, and you can actually drive all the way to the end of the road with a four-wheel drive or a rental car you don't like, and walk out there. But it's really kind of nice to do. All right, so now we're going to do a little left-hand turn. We're going to go downwind, so we're just rolling into a left-hand turn. Look at the whole windward coast. It's very Tahitian-like. Lots of rain over here. Very, very South Pacific look. Big smile right here. The girls are right above us and behind us, right there. Windward Oahu traffic, Paradise 2, flight of 2 light sport aircraft. We're at Kahuku Golf Course, 600 feet and climbing. We are westbound. Now we're going to stay out of the bird refuge just to be nice. We're going to work our way up in altitude.
Hey Tom, how's that headset?
Mine works fine. I think the one in the back, the noise canceling is not so good. I'm getting a lot of wind noise, and the mic is up behind the visor, so you might want to look at it. Unless it's mine, but I think mine was worked on this year, so my noise canceling should be good. So that's good news. It's probably not the wiring in the comm box. It was probably that other headset.
Both those headsets were worked on in the last 6 months.
All right, well, I'll see when somebody else is wearing it. Sometimes it just depends on the helmet and the person wearing them. It's totally tolerable. It's just a little bit of wind noise. I think it's out of the back seat.
Okay.
Those are the Kahuku shrimp farms. The interesting story is the guy who writes the Oahu Reveal. He told us that only one of the shrimp companies gets their shrimp locally. All the rest import them. They have all these shrimp trucks out here, and everybody thinks, oh, they're great local-grown Hawaiian shrimp. And I think only Romies is the one that is using these. And he's usually pretty right. He's the guy who writes the best guidebook to every island. It's called Oahu Revealed. see the mountain range in front of us?
Yeah.
See the wind direction right here? So winds are going straight that way. So when you get around the back of those, it's going to be bumpy. That's why I'm trying to work our way up, trying to find a place in the clouds or get right to the bottom of the clouds so we don't get beat up too badly.
What are the radar domes over here?
We're going to climb up to 3.5.
Yeah, we're working on it. I got a hole in front of me I'm looking at. So that's all military. And there's actually, see that big grassy area on the mountain over there?
Yeah.
That's a parachute drop area for the military. It's kind of interesting. You let them put in windmills right next to a parachute drop zone. And it's downwind, and all it does is churn up the air even more. But usually they just throw cargo out there. They'll come by with those C-17s, lots of times, two of them at a time, one right behind the other, and they'll make that a drop zone, and they've got ground support military over there for all their practice. So she says it's going up to 3,000, but right now it's too solid for me to climb up. We'll see. Got a photo right here at the northern tip. Nice. Girls are right there. North Shore Oahu traffic, Paradise 2, flight of 2 light sport aircraft. We're at Turtle Bay, 1.3, climbing and southwestbound. That bay over there is called Cavella Bay, and this whole area, the Turtle Bay, was trying to add 3 more hotels, which actually was 5 or 6 buildings, but they would like put 2 huge buildings and call it a hotel. So it's just their way of scamming it in, but they were going to put 2 hotels there. I don't know how many buildings. That all got stopped with the Keep the Country effort that we've had. They're going to let them expand on their own property up there and come down a little ways. But that's been preserved forever. Not much of a room to climb up yet. See how it wants to go to the right? We're going to go to the left. The wind was real north. It'll be smooth here. As soon as it's more of the true trade winds northeast, it's bumpy on this side.
Tom, are you going to climb up?
There's nowhere yet I can climb up, and I'm not going way offshore downwind.
Okay, we're climbing up in a hole right behind you, and it's pretty good. Right offshore Cavella Bay.
All right, we'll see how it goes. See the wind texture on the water down there? It looks kind of like a spattering. That's the downward air when the wind tumbles over the mountain. White caps are actually usually a good sign. That means that the wind is blowing across the water. But when it looks like that texture, that means it's blowing down. So that's why, we're climbing up here a little bit. I'm gonna do a little circle. Kind of a pretty view though, huh?
It is. You ever see whales or anything from up here?
Frequently this time of year, whenever it's not as windy as today, more likely though. Probably get a little windier and bumpier as we go down there, but I'll just kind of work my way up as much as I can. We're climbing right now, but probably the bumps are going to get us down in there a little bit. Sweet flying machine though, isn't it?
It is.
And here's another thing, you live in Colorado Springs, but you're semi-retired, it sounds like. Or when you have a vacation, you can fold the wing up, you can drive to the Grand Canyon, go to a little local airport. There's very few airports in America that you're not allowed to fly in. Those would be the real busy ones, like Chicago and LAX. We could actually legally land this in Honolulu, and that's a Class Bravo airspace, but it's a slow Class Bravo. So there's way more airports that you can utilize than you can utilize.
What kind of trailer do you need to collapse this into?
Well, the wing goes on top of the vehicle. It folds up in a bag the size of a kayak. So all you're doing is putting this little go-kart, 3-wheel go-kart in a trailer. You can go to Costco and buy an open trailer, or you can go buy a nice closed one to protect it, from the weather and from thieves. I would just go get a nice small custom, trailer wouldn't even be custom. It'd be one of the stock ones that, you know, a gardener uses for all their lawnmowers and stuff. All right, I'm going to try to go off here and go up a little bit. So far, the wind has been coming a little bit from behind us instead of from our left. Otherwise, it'd be a lot bumpier. We got a big hole up here, and I'll be able to climb and go inland. We have a 7-to-1 glide in this aircraft. So right now, we can glide about 14,000 feet, which is about 3 miles. So I always keep us within gliding distance of land. There's a little bit of a headwind, but right now, we're very, very close to land compared to our glide ratio. North Shore Oahu traffic, Paradise 2 light sport aircraft, 2,000 feet offshore Waimea Bay, and we are southwest bound. See how it looks a little clear right over here. Worked out pretty good so far. It's nice having a 4-stroke 912cc engine and a real fast wing. You can handle some pretty amazing conditions for a powered Hangglider. What a view of Waimea, and then that little beach to the left, are you aware that that's called 3 Tables?
No.
See the little rocks that are making the waves crash?
Yeah.
There's more than 3 of them. That's world-class snorkeling and scuba diving in the summertime. But it's a beach called 3 Tables, and then to the left of it is a little lagoon. We call it the Kitty Lagoon. And then the U-shaped cul-de-sac over there, most people know of, it's called Sharks Cove.
Yeah.
Sharks Cove actually did not get its name because there's sharks. Evidently, the Hawaiians thought a shark bit the land.
Oh, really?
And made a cove. I've never actually seen a shark there. There's too many people. And sharks are not that aggressive like the white and black tips. They just don't like crowds of people. It's not as crowded as Hanauma Bay there, but it's crowded in the summer in particular. So there's a lot of turtles and quite a few fish, but you'd be lucky to see a shark. North Shore Oahu traffic, Paradise 2 light sport aircraft coming up on Lonnie's, Turtle Beach, 2.4 southwest bound. So we're a 2-axis aircraft. Now you've been in the aircraft for a long time, you kind of see how it works. We use roll a lot. Very seldom do we even incorporate pitch, and we don't have yaw. So one of the reasons why this thing's so easy to fly is we're kind of a 1-axis aircraft for most of the flying. Oh, I love this. I'm getting my wing washed off. I hope you're not getting too wet, but I like this washing off the salt off my wing.
So do you have to wash it after every flight if you don't go through rain? Or?
No, it can handle it, but it's a hassle to wash it because we got our cameras, and here they're getting blow dried as soon as they're getting wet. But if we wash off the wing, we got to wrap up all the cameras and everything. Well, that was pretty nice flying. We got Hangglider below us. And we've been in the air about 50 minutes, and look how far we've gone. Right now, our airspeed is 77 miles an hour. We've probably got a 20-mile-an-hour tailwind. The girls are right over there. We got a 20-mile-an-hour tailwind, so we're going like 97 miles an hour along the shore. Are you familiar with where the Turtle Beach is?
No.
Okay, so
I drove by it yesterday.
So if you come over to Hangglider, just so you'll know how easy it is to find it, look down below. See how the road where it curves is way inland from the beach?
Yeah.
As I do this turn, you're going to see the road get closer and closer and closer to the beach. And there's trees and houses blocking your view of the water. The reason why that beach became so popular, all the people driving over from Waikiki, it's the very first beach on the North Shore that you see water. You're driving along, there's no view. See way up there where the road is? So that's the Turtle Beach. Just park past it, but don't leave any valuables. See how calm it is in there?
Yeah.
See any rainbows over there?
I haven't seen any rainbows yet. Just don't leave any valuables in your car.
Turn your rainbow switch on.
I'd like to turn it on. We got washed off the wing.
1152, H1, port southbound, port
So anyway, Turtle Beach is a really good place to swim and snorkel. You got the Waimea Bay, and then look in the harbor to our right. That's a good place to snorkel too. There's lots of turtles. You can park right on the beach by that war memorial, go right out in the water there, go up towards the surfers on the point. Anywhere in there, there's tons of turtles. There's no waves or sharks or rip currents or anything. There's our rainbow.
Yep.
We got rainbows on this side.
Yep.
Give me a smile on the camera on the left. Nice. These aircraft I'm telling you about light sport, all light sport aircraft are simple and they're only allowed to carry 2 people. You get your license in half as many hours as a standard category aircraft. They have them in airplanes, powered parachutes, powered hang gliders, all kinds of things. But one of the beauties is if you take an additional 2-day course as a recreational pilot, you can do all of your own maintenance and your annual. Now look at that rainbow.
Oh, wow.
You see how it's a full circle?
Yeah.
Take a look at the camera on the left wing.
Wow, I've never seen that before.
Yep. Full circle rainbow. So it's kind of interesting, but I think people that are afraid to get in the sky are cheating themselves.
Oh, yeah.
They'll never actually see a true rainbow. A rainbow is a circle. Don't tell the leprechauns, but there is no pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. There's no end to a rainbow. It's a circle. The girls are playing around over here. You can see Pearl Harbor. The sun is starting to work its magic, and so the temperature increases in the sky. A lot of the clouds will have to melt away because they can't stay there if it gets too warm. So it starts out normally pretty cloudy, and then gets less and less cloudy because the sky warms up. The only other aircraft out here is the girls. Keep an eye out for them. But kind of a nice view, huh? There's the girls right there. Another fun thing to do, Tom, is see the bridge over there with the 2 arches?
Yeah.
You can either rent a kayak for 2 or a couple stand-up paddle boards that you can paddle up the river right to where this road crosses. It's not a long thing, but you can rent them over there from Uncle Brian on the beach by that war memorial where I say you can snorkel.
Yeah.
You can rent them there. You can rent them at Surf and Sea, which is that really big surf shop that's bright yellow. And there's a Volcom surf shop, so if you rent them close to the bridge, then you just carry them down to the water and you can come up the river. And I think you guys would really enjoy that since you're staying on the North Shore. That and the shark cage thing. And if you ever want to do any surf lessons, we have a couple that it's husband and wife that are kind of like our version in the water.
Yeah.
They do things really on a private level, reservations only, and they only take you. So if you're doing a surf lesson, you'd be the only 2 people in the class. Now look at that circle rainbow again.
Wow. Yeah, we're thinking about doing the paddleboard. I've never done that. It looks fairly
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
fun, yeah.
Yeah, you can do it right out of here. There's no waves or anything. You wouldn't be involved in any surf. Switching to Dillingham.
Okay.
So when you switch over to a radio frequency, they're all preset. We just have all the ones that we normally use. Our company chit-chat frequency, Dillingham, and the one for the island when you're not in an assigned area, our first 3. So I just changed it over to the Dillingham one, but instead of talking right away, what I'm going to do is I wait a few seconds, make sure I'm not interrupting anybody. It's unlikely there's very many people in the air. It's usually just me and Denise. It's kind of amazing.
What's your altitude?
1,400 feet.
Okay.
Usually when somebody's above us looking down, they'll think we're really low. So Sherry's probably going, look how low they are.
Yeah.
And they're probably like 1,700 feet, and Sherry's probably thinking we're really low. And that's why Denise would ask. Students always, they look down at another aircraft, and it's just a perspective that she'll think that we're really low. See all the bumps coming over the mountain from behind us? Dillingham traffic, Paradise 2, flight of 2 light sport aircraft. We're at Haleiwa, 1.3, inbound for full stop glider port. So on a shorter flight, like our next flight, or half-an-hour flights, we're going to go out towards Kaina Point because we're going to go away from the mountains behind us. you guys were doing a nice long flight, we had the time to spend climbing up, going high and going far, and then getting to fly low on those beaches. So you get a lot of variety on an hour flight. What we'll do on a half an hour flight is we'll go west first, then when we go east, we'll be higher. And we'll probably stay up above the clouds if it's broken enough to go to Hangglider back. And that's all we'll do on a 30-minute flight. It's a nice flight, but the reason why there are the girls right there. The reason why we go west first is it's smoother air, because we'll be flying in wind coming off the water. That's re-smoothed itself out after tumbling over the mountain, or it's going around the northern tip. So much smoother air going west than right here if you had an equal distance from the runway. So this is where you guys are, right in here. Right in there, huh?
Yeah.
I just kind of go across here. I'll take a few pictures too. Now this is about the easiest aircraft to land. Look how beautiful those fields look in the morning with the little sun on them and the fresh water. Boy, that is one pink house.
Oh, yeah.
Holy smokes. That's a little too big to be that pink, I think. Right away, it reminds me of a pig. Alright, so you think your house is like right in here, isn't it? I think the girls are flying around it right now. So again, this is like the easiest aircraft to land in light winds. It's probably the most difficult to land in strong winds, because think about this, even when you're flying a Cessna, you're not moving the wing. You're moving parts within the wing, and you're using pulleys to do it. And leverage that we don't have in this one.
Right down there.
Yeah, I think I got some photos and video of it.
Yeah.
It's a nice neighborhood. Again, this is the second windiest coast. The windiest coast is the east coast. The calmest coast is the west coast.
Dillingham, area traffic, motor glider 5, Victor Papa, will be taking runway 8. Left turn out, any traffic, please advise.
That sounds new on the radio. Good morning, motor glider. You got the 2 light sport aircraft powered hang gliders at the polo field on downwind for full stop glider port.
I'll get out of here right now.
And no worries. So there's a powered glider. He's got a motor so he doesn't need a tow plane. And it can take off and land on the runway and go up to the mountain and turn the engine off and soar. There's a version of this that's the same. It's called a soaring trike. Nickname for these is trike because of the tricycle gear, I guess. We call them a powered hang glider. But with a soaring trike, it's a one-person version of this with a very small engine and very small gas tank. You can take off from the runway and go up to the mountains that don't have road access, turn the engine off and soar on the wind that's going up there. It's really, really nice. You could literally fly from here with a motor over to the windward coast, turn your engine off, and you can fly the entire windward coast all day long, and then turn your engine on and go downwind all the way back home. See the motor glider right there? Dillingham traffic, Paradise 2 is feet wet at the drop zone. Got the motor glider in sight. I'm at your, probably 11 o'clock.
You look gorgeous up there.
So do you. You're smart enough to fly in the mornings when it's nice and quiet out here. See how choppy it is?
Yeah.
If it was coming out of the south, which is to our left, real strong, we wouldn't even fly, because then it's real bumpy all the way down to the ground. This thing's such a big kite, it's really hard to get it to respond whenever a wing gets up or down. It responds far slower than a regular aircraft. And that's why I was telling you it's really difficult to fly this thing in turbulent conditions, because you're moving this huge control surface. It takes more strength to fly this thing
Dillingham, Paradise 1, check base for the glider port.
than the big jet that flew you over here from Colorado. Of course, those guys are playing a video game, you know, pretty much.
So how often do you have to cancel flights?
You know, we're pretty lucky here. We're on the dry side of the island, and we fly early in the morning. We fly 1,000 hours a year, so we're getting plenty of flights in, I'll tell you that. But we're going to cancel the next 2 days. I don't even know if we booked. We have people that want to fly the next 2 days. we didn't book him because we have to get our cat castrated for one. And then he's got to recover from surgery, and the winds are supposed to be like 35 miles an hour. So there are days, but not enough days to affect our business in a negative way. We're less susceptible to the weather than the skydivers. They can't jump through clouds. We fly around. Paradise 2 is on base for full stop glider port. Now once I figure out which way the wind is blowing, which looks like it's coming from the mountains, which is the reason why it would be choppy here, I'm going to go way to the left of the runway and land on an angle because I don't have a tail. I like to land into the wind. So see how far to the left I'm setting up? You wouldn't do this in an airplane, but an airplane has a rudder. And a rudder will help you the most in fighting a crosswind. Like we have a light crosswind here. I just come in on an angle, try to keep my speed up through all these crazy bumps. I'm still going to land on the runway. I'm just going to land on the runway on an angle. So that's a little technique that we do with the tail of this aircraft. It's very similar to what a skydiver will do. They're not going to land down a set direction. They can land into the wind. So that's what we do now. Now we're not steering with the wing again, we're steering with the front wheel. You belong in the front seat, by the way. If you're trying to get your license, you don't belong in the back seat anymore. Aloha from the North Shore.